guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dale, the Biblical Linguist, and in today's video I am very excited to be going through Matthew chapter 4. There's a lot of juicy words in here, so let's jump right in. Verse 6. Και λέγει αυτό, Ios ήτου Θεού, βάλε σε αυτόν κάτω, γεγραπτε γαρ ότι τις αγγελείς αυτού, ενελείται περί σου και επί χειρών αρουσίν σε μήποτε προσκόψεις προς λίθον τον πόδα σου. Alright, so ke and lehi said afto to him, if Ios son, tu theou of God, vale throw, se afton yourself, kato down, yegrapte means written, gar for oti that, tis means the, angelis the angels, aftu his, endelite, so this is a new one, from endelo. Endelo only occurs 15 times, and it means to enjoin, charge, or command. Peri, concerning, or around. Normally it means around. I assume this is where we get the word perimeter, periscope. Yeah, around, about, concerning, respecting. Su, you, ke, and epi, on. Heron, from her, meaning a hand. Heron are hands. Heron. Arusin, from ero, meaning to take up, to lift, to raise. Se, you. Nipote, here's an interesting one. It means whether, like whether or not. Proskopsis, from proskoptu. So this word means to dash against, to beat upon, to strike against. Pros, against. Lithon, the stone. Ton, the poda, foot. Su, your foot. There's a few words in here I want to dive deeper into, so let's do this. So let's visit andelite first. It comes from endeleo, and endeleome, endelume. It means something like it is completed, it is fulfilled, it is carried out. So to break it down, we have the en, which means in, telos, which means goal or an end or completion, and teleo means to complete or accomplish. So enteleo means to bring to completion. And yeah, this is where we get this word telos from, which means goal. And so this is where we get our words for teleology from, telescope, television, and telegraph. And this other verb here, proskopsis, is very interesting. So I am familiar with this verb koptu, which means to cut. It's also used in modern Greek. And then the pros here means towards or against. So proskoptu means to strike against. Yeah, koptu doesn't just mean to cut, it also means to strike or to beat, which is interesting. So how would I translate this? Ke legi aftu, and this is referring to the devil. The devil said to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written that his angels will carry out or fulfill around you. The English says he will command his angels. And in the Spanish it says, a sus ángeles mandará por ti. So yes, he will send his angels for you. Yeah, the English, he will command his angels concerning you. That's not a good, that's an awkward translation in English. It's written that he will send his angels for you, and they shall raise you in their hands, so that you will not smash your foot into a rock. This is very interesting. So the devil's basically saying, bow to me, because it is written, and God will command his angels to raise you so high that you'll never suffer even a minor injury or inconvenience. So the devil is tempting him here. If we remember the word from the last episode, pirazon, the tempter. Alright, verse 7. Efi αυτό ο Ιησούς πάλιν γεγραπτε ουκ εκπειράσεις Kyrion ton theon σου. Efi αυτού ο Ιησούς. So Jesus said to him, πάλιν γεγραπτε. Phalin here is a very common word. It means also. It could also mean again, as in repeating myself again, further, furthermore. On the other hand, γεγραπτε, it is written. Uk ekpirasis, from ekpirazo. This means to tempt. Pirazon, like we covered. This is basically a command. Do not. Ekpiras uk is do not, literally. Ekpirasis, do not tempt. Kyrion, Lord. Ton theon, your God. Su, yours. So pretty simple one. No need to dive into any of the etymologies here, really, except for ephi. Ephi comes from thimi. It occurs almost 70 times. It means to utter, to say, to speak. So how would I translate this? Jesus said to him, again, it is written, do not tempt the Lord thy God. Do not test the Lord thy God. No tentarás al Señor tu Dios. Yes, do not tempt. Tempt or test, both are acceptable, I would say. Phalin parlamvani afton o diavolos is oros ipsilon lian ke diknisin afto pasastas vasilias tu cosmu ke tin doxan afton. So Phalin again, paralamvani afton o diavolos. The devil took him, paralamvani, from lambano, to take. Is oros. So oros is a mountain or a hill. It occurs 63 times. Ipsilon, from ipsilos. Ipsilos occurs 11 times. It means a high or lofty place, an elevated place. Ta ipsila is the highest heaven. Interesting. And so if we're going with Erasmian pronunciation, we'd say hypsilos. Now in English we have a hypsometer, which is a special instrument used to measure altitude. Hypsometry is the scientific measurement of land elevation. Hypsophobia is the clinical term for fear of heights, and hypsography is studying and mapping the Earth's elevations and topographical features. Very interesting. Lian here means very. Ke and diknisin, from diknimi. I covered this one in a recent video, but it means he showed. Afto, him. Pasas, all. Tas, the. Vasilias, kingdoms. Vasilias, das Vasilias, from Vasilia, very common kingdom, realm, region. Tu cosmu, of the world. Ketin doxan, and the splendor. Now this is a good one to know. Doxa is glory. It also could mean dignity or majesty. Afton, of it. So how would I translate this one? And so again, the devil takes Jesus to a very high place, a very high mountain, and showed him all of the kingdoms of the world and their splendors, their glories. Once again, we have the devil taking Jesus places, and the devil is showing him all the relief and wonder he can give to Jesus, and Jesus, once again, turns the tables right back on him. So, verse 9, Ke ipenafto taftesi panda dosu eon peson proskinesis me. Now, I'm really happy that we finally have proskineo here, which means to worship. Finally, I've known this word for almost a year and haven't seen it yet in the wild, but here it is. Ke ipenafto, and he said to him, tafta. This comes from utos, which means this. Si, for you. Panda, all. Doso, from didomi. It means to bestow, to give, to present. The modern Greek word for gift is doro. There's another one, charisma, but that's obviously not related. All right, doro. Ean, meaning if, except, or unless. Peson, to fall. I covered this one. Proskinesis, from proskineo, meaning to pray, to give reverence, to give homage to, and then me, which means me. So I'd like to dive deeper into proskineo here. Proskinesis. It's the most common Greek word for worship or obeisance. Pros, meaning toward, and kineo, meaning to kiss. The modern Greek word for kiss is phili, which ties into the idea of like friendliness. Like philikos means friendly, for example. Philos is a friend. So back then they used this different. They might still have it in modern Greek, but a vivid picture of total submission and affection. In an ancient context, it meant to fall prostrate, dropping to your knees or flat on your face, kissing the ground that the person walks on. And he said to him, and this is referring to the devil saying to Jesus, I will gift to you all of this as long as you fall and worship me. Number 10, last but not least, Tota legiaftuo Isus ipage satana yegraptegar kyrion tonteon su proskinesis ke afto mono latrefsis. I really like the way this ends. Latrevo in modern Greek means to adore. They use it quite a bit. I hear it all the time. Tota then legi afto o Isus. Jesus said to him, Ipage Satana, go away with you, be gone. The Spanish here says vete Satanas, which means get out of here. Yegrapte gar. Now this is the first time we're seeing Satana here for Satan. Yegrapte gar. It is written. Kyrion ton theon su. The Lord your God. Proskenisis. You worship him. Geafto mono. So, and he alone. Latrefsis. Will you worship? A couple words I want to dive into here. Ipage from ipago, meaning to lead, to bring under, to depart. This would have been pronounced hipago with the H there in Erasmian that we all love. Ipage comes from ipo, under, ago, to lead. And we've seen both of these words before. When you combine them, it means to lead oneself under or sink out of sight. That's where this under comes from. So in English, we think of going away as away, like away. We don't think of it meaning going down, but in Greek, this word in particular means lead yourself down. In other words, get lost. Satanas means an adversary or an opponent, an enemy. Okay, so Satana is a Greek transliteration of the older Hebrew term. It comes from the Hebrew root Satan, which in Arabic, this word shaitan, I assume also comes from the Hebrew, because shaitan, it feels like a Semitic word, but it doesn't quite feel like an Arabic word. To me, it feels very much like a Hebrew construct. But in Greek, it became satanas and satana in the vocative case here. But in the original context, a Satan was not necessarily a supernatural being of pure evil. It also meant human adversaries, whereas diabolos is Greek, and it means a slanderer, one who throws insults at people. So kind of neat that Hebrew and the Greek have both preserved devil and Satan for us in the English-speaking world. And the rest of the European world, Satana and Diablo. And then yes, latrefsis from latrevo means to serve, to worship. It came from the noun latron, which means pay, hire, or wages. A latris was a hired servant or laborer who worked for pay. It shifted to a religious meaning over time. The word moved from the marketplace to the temple. In Greek culture, it came to mean the religious service or sacred duties offered to a deity. Latrefsis here means you shall serve. It's the second person singular future active indicative. In English, this is where we get the word idolatry from, and I could see it. The latter, L-T-R, latrevsis, latrevo, idolatry. And yes, in modern days, it does mean to worship, but you could also use it to mean you adore somebody or something. Se latrevo, I adore you. So how would I translate this one? And then Jesus said to him, to Satan, Begone, Satan, for it is written, you must worship the Lord your God and serve only him. So it's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's much to exegete from this. It's pretty explicit and it's pretty poignant, to the point. It doesn't leave much for interpretation here, these events, other than what your pastor might interpret from this, which is that Satan, the tempter, is trying to get Jesus to fold under his will, and Jesus simply ain't gonna play that game. And it is very explicitly stated here. So, anyways, thanks so much for watching. As always, I'm using the Cross Bible, my favorite Bible study tool, to guide me through these translations and to compare the verses. I will leave a link to that down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. End of transmission.